Yo, what is going on, YouTube? Back here with another episode of What Happened in Wrestling. Today we're going to cover AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT from February 12th, 2020. Before I get into the video, just want to remind you guys to make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell. So you guys can keep up to date with everything I'm posting, all the content that I'm posting out, the videos that I'm rolling out, and the live streams. And follow me on Twitter. My Twitter link will be in the description below. Now let's jump into the video and we'll go over this week in wrestling. Okay guys, we're going to start with AEW Dynamite. Dynamite started with a tag team title match between the tag team champions Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus SCU with the duo of Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian with Christopher Daniels on the outside just for a little tiny bit. So, great match. Hot way to start the night. A lot going on. A lot of big moves. A lot of big spots. It's a big way to start the night. Tough for the rest of the card to kind of match up with it. You know, they did a pretty good job of changing everything up, so it wasn't like they were trying to do the same stuff that was just seen in that match, because that match did basically everything. So, great match, but that you do run across that where if they do so much, like what else can the guys in the rest of the card do? So, you know, that's okay because of how much time and spotlight they're giving the tag team division in AEW. So I understand why they did it, especially at the end when you saw the big brawl at the end, and we'll get to that. But, you know, you're kind of handcuffing a lot of other guys out there just because all that stuff, they did a lot in that match. And for the rest of the guys to compete with that, it's tough. Tough act to follow for your opening match. You want to start off hot, but that was real hot. So, the end of the match, Omega and Page win. You know, I like the team of Page and Omega. You know, they're going with the Elite, but you know the eventual breakup is coming between those two just because of the way Adam Page reacts to the rest of the Elite guys. So that should be a great program afterwards. When it comes to SCU, Scorpio Sky, that guy is a star. He's in this tag team. You know he's the one that he's going to jump to a whole nother level after this tag team thing he's in is over. Kazarian, veteran, cagey guy, been around for a long time. Remember seeing him in Impact, in TNA back then when it was called TNA. So I remember seeing him there. But, you know, he's there as just a veteran guy and still can do everything in the ring. But Scorpio Sky, that guy's a star with that match he had with Jericho. You know that guy's going to bigger and better places. Definitely a future AEW champion. I hope so. So that was a great match. Those guys have their match. Dark Order, before the match starts, cuts a promo. Evil Uno's in the staircase with the rest of his cronies behind him, and Satan's going to watch the match. After the match is over, after the Omega and Page retain, they come out to attack. Then all the babyface teams come in, all the heel teams come in, just to hype up the Battle Royal next week to name a number one contender for, I assume, Revolution is for when that match will take place. But next week is the Battle Royal between the tag teams to do that. Funny thing from Orange Cassidy, you know, during the commercial break, and a little small screen, little picture-in-picture they do for AEW. He's always a lot of fun, always entertaining, and that. But they're just giving a lot spotlight to the tag team division, something that WWE doesn't really do. So that's cool. They're showing all those guys. Those guys are all in the ring. They have a big brawl and all that stuff. So, you know, it was what it was. It's just to hype up that Battle Royal for next week to name a number one contender for Page and Omega. Next, we had the Santana interview with Jim Ross. So, I really like this interview. It gives more layers to the Santana character. Shows a more personal story, background to him, and talking about his father being blind, showing pictures of his father. So that was good. It just gives the character a lot of depth. It makes you care about him more, and not just him be one of the background guys in the inner circle. So that was good. Very good promo by him. Very talented guy. That was good. the way they all set that up, the seriousness of it with them two sitting in the ring, with Jim Ross and Santana sitting in the ring before the show when having the interview. Very well done. Gives Santana more to his character, adds layers to it. So that was very well done. Next we had Darby Allin do a vignette where he has a skateboard flipped over. Obviously the week before they guillotined him with his own skateboard, the Inner Circle. So he's has some pieces of cardboard with stuff written on it, and he's throwing them on the floor. And at the end, it's him challenging Sammy Guevara to a match at Revolution, which I assume will happen. Will be a great match. Be a wild match. I'll tell you that, because Darby Allin's a wild man. So we'll see what kind of stuff he gets into. That will probably be a kick-ass match. The shit's going to be off the wall. Darby Allin's matches usually are. So I'm really excited for that. So after Darby Allin cuts this video, Sammy Guevara comes out with Jake Hager, and he's going on against Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes, the guy can still go. He is a marvel out there at his age to be able to do the stuff he does with a Canadian Destroyer towards the end of the match. Then he hit his finish. So, Canadian Destroyer, I remember seeing that move for the first time when Petey Williams would do it in TNA, and it was amazing, and he was the only guy I saw doing it. So seeing other guys do it as like a setup move or a move, like a signature before you hit your finish, I'm not a huge fan of that, but to see him do it, something special at his age. Big fan of Dustin from his WCW days as The Natural. Then, his Goldust run in the mid-90s before they cut the legs off of it because it was too edgy and, people were getting offended by it or whatever. But the guy's always been great, and he continues to defy age, and he keeps going. So after the match, he challenges Jake Hager, which we haven't seen in action yet since he's shown up in AEW. So he challenged him for a Revolution match. I assume that match will happen. We'll get to see him in the ring for the first time. Should be a great match. Definitely excited to see Hager back in a ring and see how he does. See how he incorporates his MMA, his Bellator stuff into his style of work now. So that should be fun to see him and Dustin Rhodes go at it, and it should be a great match. Next we have Britt Baker having another interview with Tony Schiavone next to her. Again, kind of shitting on Schiavone as per usual, but Schiavone's not, one to shy away from getting the piss kicked out of him. So Schiavone's a good guy. I've spoken to him on the phone before, so I can tell he's a good guy. But they have an interview. Britt Baker, really going into the heel thing, playing off the fact that she's the dentist, obviously, with taking out the tooth of, I forget the girl's name from last week. She took out her molar, and very going into detail of the molar she took out and how all that stuff works. But she's doing a good job. She shit on the Austin, Texas crowd. So, she's getting, good heat for what she's trying to do. And she's, pretty much the number 2 in the AEW women's division right now, with Riho being the champion until later. And she'll probably get a title shot at Revolution under her new heel persona. That leads directly into the Riho versus Nyla Rose match. Nyla Rose is a monster. She's out there destroying people, and the dynamic between her being so huge and Riho being so small is a lot of fun to see. Her little offense maybe not as believable just because of the size difference, but they do a good enough job getting it over. They had a good match. Nyla Rose won, so she's going to be a beast, monster heel champion. Now, I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to have Britt Baker go against her for the title because they're both heels. I don't know how that's going to work. They may have somebody else go in there. So I'm not really sure if they're going to put the title on Nyla. Why have Britt Baker turn heel? If you're going to work towards that, maybe a Revolution. I'm not sure what they'll do. Maybe they'll do the rematch between Riho and Nyla, or give somebody else, Chris Statlander, maybe a shot at the title, Revolution, something like that. Let's see what they do. But overall, good match, solid work, real believable champion in Nyla Rose. Going to be a tough one to take the title off. She'll probably have a very lengthy run because she's been so dominant, and should be good. Next, we had a Jericho promo in the backstage with the Inner Circle draped around him. Love the Le Champion bandana he had around his neck. The sick blazer he had. He plays everything off so well. He is legitimately maybe the best of all time when it comes to just character development and changing everything up. People have said that all the time. He reinvents himself all the time, but wonderful stuff, amazing stuff. Love Jericho. He is absolutely hilarious in everything he does, and he does everything so well. His attention to detail is insane. Just with the Le Champion bandana right here, it was just a beautiful touch. Hilarious. Now he talks about Moxley giving him chances to join the Inner Circle, but then, he turned on him. And now the big reveal comes. He talks about Santana having a match with him tonight, and then he has looking for a hitman to take out Moxley before the Revolution match. And he unveils the name of Jeff Cobb, which is a massive, massive deal, massive pickup, amazing addition to the roster. This guy is a freak of nature, huge guy, so athletic, so powerful, hell of a look, hell of a presence to him. And he calls Moxley out saying, I got Jeff Cobb coming next week to take you out. So that's a big deal. So can't wait to see that next week. Next we got MJF versus Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. A lot of fun. Love seeing MJF. Jack Perry is, he's kind of an odd babyface character with his gimmick, the way it's set up with, Luchasaurus and all that stuff. But he does very well in the spot that he's in. Very athletic guy, but he's so young. Has so much to go. So can grow so much. Really excited to see how he changes basically on his look, his body as he gets older. But MJF is just tremendous at everything he does. He's a heat-seeking missile. So good at that. You got the best heel probably in wrestling versus, personally, in my opinion, the best babyface in wrestling in Cody. He's just such a good babe. So much fire to his character. He fights so much from underneath, and he really pulls you in. Plus, he's got the fact that he's pretty much behind AEW for the most part on his side, so the fans love it. But he's so good at that babyface role, and he's so believable. Cuts crazy good promos because he has that conviction behind everything he says. He believes in everything he says. Great stuff. Got the 10 lashes last week from the belt. Next we got Wardlow in the cage, so that should be good. See how the story progresses into the Revolution match. Finally, Cody gets his hands on MJF. Should be great. With MJF, I really do like, though, how he less is more with him. He slows down the match, does a lot of, dirty things. Very good details that he incorporates into his match that sets him apart from other heels and guys like that. He wants to be hated. He loves it. He relishes it. Great stuff. And finally, we have the main event, Moxley versus Santana. Physical match. We all knew it was very personal, so it was a physical match, eye for an eye match. They both had eye patches on, so a lot of physicality, a lot of brutality. Very well done. See, AEW's feuds right now seem a lot more personal than the ones WWE's doing. They seem a lot more grounded, there's a lot of just more personal stuff going on. And the eye for an eye thing was a great touch. So Moxley gets the win. Then obviously the Inner Circle comes in the beatdown. They beat him down, and out of nowhere, Jeff Cobb comes down. He makes his debut a week early. We thought we was going to see him last week, but he shows up at the end, hits his move on Moxley. They all pose down together, so officially he seems to be in the Inner Circle, barring any swerve. So great stuff. Their feuds are there's only a couple feuds they have, but they're all very personal. They're all very well done. So, kudos to AEW. Very good show. Next, we have NXT. So, NXT starts with Roderick Strong coming out, irate because of Velveteen Dream, drawing, his family on his pants. So, he's asking for an apology for that. He's irate at Velveteen Dream. So, he's asking Velveteen Dream to come out. I don't know where Bronson Reed comes out. Never seen Bronson Reed before. Just very quickly, never really noticed him, but big guy. Jeff Cobb looking type of guy. So they have a match. Roderick Strong wins. There's a little bit of interference, kind of, from the Tron, from Velveteen Dream, but after the finish, Roderick Strong is victorious, and then Velveteen Dream comes out on the Tron, cuts a promo, and reveals that he has on the back of his trunks, "Call Me Up, Miranda," which is Roderick Strong's wife. And then on his legs, he has a family portrait of himself, Roderick Strong's wife, and Roderick Strong's small child son, which was amazing, very personal. But I really do like Velveteen Dream just as a total package. He's got a great look, that Rick Rude spray painting design and people's faces on his trunks, the Hogan feather thing around his neck, and is just very good. Kind of got a Goldust feel to him too, where he's kind of androgynous and stuff like that. But he's very well done, very good character, and he's definitely a future superstar. He already is a superstar, a future main eventer, top to bottom on all brands, top of the company guy. Next we had Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. Now they're in a car driving, they get pulled over, then the car gets towed because neither of them have a license, and they're with the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy. A little comedy thing to get, I guess, give the team a different layer or something like that. Maybe soften up Pete Dunne a little bit because he's maybe not, give him more dimensions to his character. But that plays out throughout the show. Next you see them on a boat, and they're just riding the boat, trying to get to Portland for a takeover. And then eventually they end up stowaways on a plane, and it ends up being the private jet of Triple H. So it was funny stuff, it's just there, but it gives them something to do, and a funny thing for them to get to Portland for TakeOver. We had Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai. These two girls have had a rivalry for a while, but it was just basically for them to hype up the match between Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox for TakeOver. Dakota Kai gets the win. She goes for the beatdown afterwards, but Tegan Nox jumps out the crowd and attacks her. They separate them. They start brawling. All set up for the match this Sunday for TakeOver. You're going to see a lot of this. Next, we had Johnny Gargano versus Cameron Grimes. Good match, solid match. Johnny Gargano cannot have a bad match. He's tremendous in the ring, so there's no bad match he can have. But this was just to set up him versus Finn Balor. So just have Gargano win, make him look strong, and keep him momentum going into the match with Finn Balor, which is going to be an amazing match. We all know that. So more of the same, hyping up matches for Sunday in the go-home show of NXT. Next, we had Lio Rush versus Angel Garza for the number one contendership for the Cruiserweight title. Whoever wins faces Jordan Devlin next week on NXT for the Cruiserweight title. High-flying match, obviously Cruiserweight match. Two guys can go. Two guys very athletic. Lio Rush with that frog splash to the outside of the ring was ridiculous. Lio Rush gets the win. Angel Garza is definitely now just a Raw superstar. He's going to go up. He's going to stay there. So they got him off NXT with this loss. Doesn't hurt him. Just he's moving on to other things. At the end, Lio Rush and Jordan Devlin have a face-to-face talking about next week's match. It's trash talk from Devlin. So, should be a fun match next week. Next, we had Bianca Belair versus Santana Garrett. Really good to see Santana Garrett on TV. Very excited to see her in the future. But this was just Belair's opportunity to look strong going into the TakeOver match against Rhea Ripley. She dominated her, squashed her, got the win. Rhea Ripley comes out after a promo from Belair saying that she's being overlooked by Ripley, focusing on Charlotte. So Ripley comes out, confronts her, they brawl for a little bit, and then Belair hits her finish on Ripley to stand over her before the match. So most likely, obviously, with their Mania match coming up, Belair is going to take the L on this one, but she will be NXT champion eventually, if not either a Raw or SmackDown one. She's a star, very imposing looking, large, very broad shoulders on her. Hell of a set of shoulders on her. But she looks great out there, Ripley as well. So it's going to be one hell of a match. Very physical match at TakeOver. Before the main event, we had a Tommaso Ciampa promo. He's sitting there in the promo class looking room, and he's watching a video of when he's relinquishing his NXT title when he got the neck injury. This is great work, character development. Tommaso Ciampa is such a great character. So many layers to his character. Amazing facials from him. He has such great facials. He already has that stone cold killer face, psycho face, so it really plays well. And you could see in his facial expressions how much he wants that title back, how much it means to him. And him watching that video of relinquishing that title and the anguish on his face really tells a great story, and it's great for his character. He's such an amazing character already, but that just adds another thing on top of it, makes him more personal in his quest to regain the NXT title from Adam Cole at TakeOver Portland this Sunday. Should be obviously a great match. The main event, which is Adam Cole, Bay, NXT champion, against Kushida in a non-title match. Kushida is great to see him on TV as usual. Can't wait to see what they have in store for him later on. He's just there now as a guy, but I'm expecting big things from him, and he probably will be a guy who just stays in NXT, but that's good for him. He'll be kind of more of a big fish in a small pond type situation for him, so that's great for him. But Adam Cole gets the win in this match, and then Ciampa comes out, does the face-to-face, and just more great facials from both guys. because Adam Cole has that real good ability of have a face of like, oh shit, what the fuck, you know, very like scared and kind of intimidated, kind of like squeamish about the other guy looking at him the way he does, and just great facials from Tommaso Ciampa as per usual. And you just see he doesn't take his eyes off of that title. He wants it, and I'm kind of hoping he gets it because of just the way he had to relinquish it because of the injury. So I do hope he gets it back, you know. And I'm not really sure what they're gonna do with Adam Cole after the fact if he does lose it. But let's see what happens. Super excited to see how Takeover goes. I'll do a full review of Takeover, so stay tuned for that. And this is the end of this video. We went over both AEW Dynamite and NXT. I got a video coming for you guys Friday night or Saturday morning for review of Friday Night SmackDown. It should be a lot of fun. Go over that. And said any takeaways from the two shows on Wednesday, leave that in the comment section below. If you have anything you guys want to discuss about what's going on or what's going to happen at TakeOver, what you guys are excited to see, and what you guys are excited to see after TakeOver for NXT, and what are you guys looking forward to AEW with their next pay-per-view coming, Revolution, at the end of the month. What other matches do you think you guys are going to see on there, and what do you think is going to happen after? Do you think Jericho is going to lose that title? I kind of hope not, but let's see what happens. You know, guys, in the comment section below, and don't forget to drop a like on the video, and I'll catch you guys later.